My name is Bronwyn Roy. I'm a mom of 2 boys and a dog, and I have a full-time career. I'm here with you to explore new ways to improve quality of life and happiness through mindset, habits, and health. Now, it goes without saying that I love my kids. They're amazing as individuals and as little members of our team. When I met my firstborn, I had it made. He slept through the night. At 10 days old, he ate like there was no tomorrow, and he only complained if he was hungry or had the hiccups. Jim would joke that he didn't understand why parents were always complaining that parenting was so hard. He would write a book called Parenting is a Cinch. It would be a bestseller. When my second son arrived, we got what we deserved.
Can you sing Mary Had a Little Lamb?
No, I can't.
Okay.
As brilliant, determined, passionate, hardworking, hilarious, and creative as he is today, even he knows he gave us a run for our money. Finally, when he was about 2 years old and we realized he was winning all the arguments, we realized that we needed help. We went and hired a parent counselor. Best money spent. She took us through steps to reclaim our authority through play, using a strict script. We learned how to use timeouts, and slowly but surely, everything changed. He still pushed buttons, but the parents had the reins back. We found ourselves seeking counsel from many sources over the years, including from teachers and grandparents and other parents. What it all boiled down to was being a good listener, being patient, being present, and being genuine. Shockingly, I found these lessons work on adults too. Lesson 1. We all want to be heard. You know how you can be sitting in the car and your child goes on for what feels like an hour saying, "Mommy,
I want ice cream. I want ice cream. I want ice cream. I want ice cream.
and then you say, "Well, you can't have ice cream." And then they respond,
But I want ice cream.
and the cycle continues, and it's infuriating. Now, you could sit and let the child scream, or you could scream back, or try this. Respond with, "What I hear you saying is you want ice cream." Or say, "I understand what you want is ice cream, and I can see that you're frustrated and that you're upset." This sounds insane, I know, but when I've tried this in the past, my son has instantly quieted down. Somewhere in his brain, he must have known that ice cream in that very moment was an irrational request, but ultimately what he really wanted was to be heard. Guess what? Adults feel the same way. Have you ever been in a conversation, debate, or an argument and it feels like you're talking to a wall? According to an article from Psychology Today, not feeling heard often leads to depression, feeds into anxiety, or invites anger. The answer? Active listening. Wikipedia says active listening is the practice of preparing to listen, observing what verbal and nonverbal messages are being sent, and then providing appropriate feedback for the sake of showing attentiveness to the message being presented. Oh, and don't interrupt. That's a good tip too. Lesson 2. There's no point in reasoning when you're upset. When I get upset, my heart races, my ears turn red, and I interrupt a whole lot. If I were to float outside my body and see myself, I'd probably be embarrassed. So you can imagine what it's like to watch my kids when they get upset. When we get angry, our prefrontal cortex takes a hit. The prefrontal cortex is our control center that supports our ability to concentrate, make decisions, plan, make sensible conclusions, gain insight, and retrieve memories. In an article from Scientific American, authors Amy Arnsten, Carolyn Major, and Rajita Sinha explain, new research demonstrates that acute, uncontrollable stress sets off a series of chemical events that weaken the influence of the prefrontal cortex while strengthening the dominance of older parts of the brain. Quite simply, we lose it. For grown-ups and kids alike, wait until the anger has subsided before you try to reason or explain. Your brain needs a rain check. Lesson 3. Timeouts are for self-regulation. So how do we get our prefrontal cortex to get cranking again? Timeouts. As I learned from counselors, timeouts shouldn't be a punishment. Timeouts instead are opportunities to get yourself together so your brain can calm down and you can operate at full speed again. Now, kids aren't born with self-regulating skills, so when you put them in timeout, it's a chance for them to gain insight on what brings their bodies back to equilibrium. Deep breathing, counting, crying, yes, crying, can be all very productive tools to help calm the body. So how long do you put your child in timeout? As long as it takes. I personally take timeouts when in times of stress. I tell my partner or my kids, Mommy needs a timeout. And by using that phrase and demonstrating that behavior, they instantly appreciate that I'm being proactive to help self-regulate and allow for a productive interaction later. And lastly, my favorite lesson that I learned from a remarkable Sunday school teacher, Patty Ames. Lesson 4. They remember how you make them feel, not what you say. I bet that you can pull memories of giddiness or sorrow, anticipation, regret, pride far more easily than the words that were uttered to make you feel that way. Words are powerful, but how you treat someone makes a far greater impact on that person. So even though they're a fraction of our size, are completely clueless when they have food on their faces and poop their pants. Turns out, kids like to be treated the same way adults do, and vice versa.
I love Mommy with all my heart and you with me.
Thank you for spending time with me today. If you would like to explore more ways to improve your quality of life and happiness through mindset, habits, and health, please like and subscribe. Be well.